Hello, this is Rachel here again, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be quite personal, really. I've seen that a lot of former witnesses have felt that music and art has played a part in either their waking up or in the healing process following their leaving the witnesses. And that was sort of true for me as well. I found that I was starting to express the feelings I was having through my artwork. A few years ago, I took up pottery as part of my pain management program. Because I suffer from chronic headaches. The idea is that if you have something that you enjoy doing, that is a distraction from your pain. So I took up ceramics, and I really enjoyed it. But my doubts and my feelings about the organisation were coming through in my artwork. I don't know what the other ladies at the pottery group thought. Probably thought I was nuts or something. But anyway, I'll just show you something that I made. Well, at least I started to make during that time before I left, and I'll just move this. If you can see that down there, it's not very exciting looking, but it's a bowl, and inside it has words like reason, doubt, faith, and what was the other one? Belief, yeah. Because I was struggling with all those things, were they compatible? Could you still have belief if you had doubt? Could you have belief or faith if you had reason? I was struggling with all those things. So I started making that before I was disfellowshipped. But I didn't finish it until last year. It just sat there in my workshop with nothing happening. So I guess artwork, and I did drawings and things too, which sort of reflected my thoughts. I was trying to line up different thoughts that I had and trying to reconcile things, and it wasn't working. But what was something that really made me think and meditate a lot, because I had concerns and doubts in the organisation and with teachings and things, and they weren't being solved at all. I had noticed inconsistencies, and I was irritated by these things. And wasn't until my daughter, she was in her 6th form year, which is year 12, and was working on her art portfolio, and she had to sort of take the styles of different artists and kind of merge them into a blend with her own style. It's kind of weird what they get them to do, but she really didn't want to pollute her, because she likes painting realistic things, and she didn't want to have to change it too much, so she asked me about it, and we thought, well, why not add some text into her artwork? After all, perhaps New Zealand's most famous artist is one who used mainly text. His name's Colin McCann, and you probably either love or hate his work. So I decided to look for information on this artist so she could get some ideas of how to add text into her artwork. And I remember many years ago, I was probably just a teenager, and I saw this artist's work in an exhibition, and I thought it was just utter rubbish, because it was just words. I thought anybody can do that, write some words on a canvas. But I didn't actually know very much about the man. Actually, I'll just show you some of his work, because I've got a book. This is the sort of thing that he would do. And he has a lot of religious and biblical themes coming through in his work, which I didn't really realise that much when I suggested it to my daughter. And he does things like this. It's just basically copying out portions of the Bible. And then perhaps the ones that my favourite ones, pictures of his aren't in this book, but he does other things like this. I'll start at this side. You get the idea. Yeah, the favourite one is one of Jesus hanging on the cross. But there's this one, straight from the Bible, Valley of Dry Bones. And this one's called The Promised Land. So as I started doing some research about this artist, I started to recognise in myself the same kind of, I don't know if torment is the word, but disappointment. I think he was a man looking for his place in the world and looking for home, for some to belong, and he had disappointment with religion. I think he tried to get into the Catholic Church or something, they wouldn't let him, and then he rejected the church, and he also got very involved in, his art would reflect his political views and also the Maori culture and the connection with the land and stuff. So quite an interesting guy, but yeah, in his work I could see this inner conflict, and I thought, I sort of feel conflicted like that too with my faith and my religion, more my faith in Jehovah's Witnesses. So studying his artwork kind of got my grey cells thinking a little bit more, and thinking that, hey, it's not only witnesses that are concerned with these things, but there are a lot of people in the world who have got, are thinking about religion and a lot of them have good ideas to offer, good thoughts. And anyway, I'll just show you what my daughter came up with. If I just move the camera over this way, that's her portfolio from that year, and you can see that there's some pictures there with flowers and text, and the one I like the most is the one that says truth comes to light, which is kind of quite scriptural, isn't it? Eventually the truth will come out. Jesus shines the light on the truth. And there's those others, but yeah, she's quite talented with her painting. So that got me thinking, and then at least coming to terms with the way I was feeling, and in the beginning of the following year, basically, I think once I decided to stop attending the meetings, and I'd actually told an elder that I wouldn't be coming to the meetings for a while, I got more interested in music, and I've never been a huge music person. In fact, when I used to go to the meetings, my husband, who's not a witness, would just enjoy being at home playing the music that he likes, and which is pretty sedate kind of music from the 60s and 70s. And I'd come home and I'd tell him to turn his mind-altering music off. So that's what I thought about it. That was my JW cult mind saying that. But I decided to give music a bit more of a go and started listening to things that I used to listen to when I was a teenager and that, before I was a witness. Like, for example, Bread. I really liked Bread. And I bought the album. Oh, actually, it had 5 CDs in it, I think, and a lot of the songs that I hadn't heard before. And I was just amazed at the lyrics in them. And I thought, these, a lot of artists and songwriters and musicians are very thoughtful people. They think a lot about people. They're keen observers of human behaviour and things. So I really liked what I was hearing there. And then after I had met with elders at my home who were probably just doing an investigative thing to see whether they should get rid of me if I was a danger to the congregation. And I was sort of had my foot down, and I was determined to go through with making them disfellowship me and go to the judicial meeting and everything. And I started listening to a young Kiwi, New Zealander called Stan Walker. And he's a brilliant singer. He's only about 23 or 24 now, I think. And I bought his album, and I think the first song on there was one about freeing our hearts and freeing our minds. And I thought, wow, that's so appropriate, and had a lot of sort of energy and yeah. And as it turned out, a lot of his songs kind of sung me through my leaving process. Actually, the night that I attended the meeting where they announced I was no longer a witness, I put his music on in the car, and it was Tonight's Your Night. I think that was the name of the song. It said something about being free. Let yourself be free. And I thought, yeah, how appropriate. There's another one that's called I'm Not Invisible, or Invisible. Yeah, which was quite good, relating to the, being shunned. And I thought at the time, well, I might be invisible to these people, but I'm not invisible to my Creator and to Jesus. They can still see me. Another song of his was called Broken. That was quite a religious song. So that was really good. And another one was called Inventing Myself. And the lyrics of that are really good as well. So it's really quite funny how art and music sort of helped me through and helped give me courage. I suppose helped stir up what I had within to help me deal with what I had to deal with. But once I was disfellowshipped, I sort of got out of doing my pottery, so I've got to get back into doing that. I've done a little bit of artwork, but not very much. So I've got to get back into that. A bit hard with this at the moment. Hurt my thumb. But anyway, have any of you got similar experiences where art and music has actually helped you to wake up? And help you in the healing process? Share them if you like. Okay, bye.